Hello, welcome to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. This last episode we had gone ahead and done some upgrading to our kitchen, actually making it the new proper kitchen room. We've gone ahead and added the spice grinder, and we're using meal lice seeds to make the freshener spice, which in our rocket allows our gristleberry up here to be 100% fresh and actually lose 0 freshness per cycle, right? Because of this weird math that doesn't actually add up, but apparently it does. So, also, we've gone ahead and started our chimney for our steam rocket ships to produce infinite water, and I've finally, through many gas pumps and exposure to space, gotten all of the polluted oxygen out of here, and it turned it into a vacuum, which is what we want. So we're going to work on this today. That's going to be my main goal. One other thing is, in between episodes, I just gone around and flying my rocket ship around collecting artifacts, and we've discovered a asteroid. Oh, we discovered a Uzera asteroid and a Drinchazin asteroid. So this is going to be like a water planet, and this is like the fungus lava asteroid. And I think those are the only two that I've discovered off camera. And I think that is about it. That gets all up to date. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get started on our rocketry stuff here. We're gonna have to deconstruct a couple layers of ladders here, though. Yeah, they'll deconstruct these ones first, and then they'll go ahead and get those next. And then we're going to have to go ahead and go to rocketry, build ourselves a rocket platform. Now we're going to want to build this out of steel. Not required, honestly. You can probably get away with something that isn't steel, but steel doesn't hurt because it won't overheat. And we know that it's going to get around probably between 500 to 700 degrees Celsius in this, in here. It's gonna be hot. That's what I know. I'm gonna let them build that. One thing we're also gonna need to start working on is the little offshoot for our steam turbine, right? Now, a steam turbine, I believe, is how many tiles wide? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles wide. And then I want to have 2 extra tiles for, or well, actually, I think I want 2 steam turbines? Or should I just have 1 steam turbine per thing? I think we're going to do it just 1 steam turbine. I think that's fair. So yeah. I'm just going to build them in layers. So we're going to do 5, and then the wall. Just like this. And then I'm going to just fill this up with tiles to make it a vacuum, and then we'll deconstruct it from the inside. So then this will stay a vacuum. Then we'll build our steam turbine here, and then the steam that's in this room will come into this little pocket and get sucked up by the steam turbine, and then we'll output it as 95 degrees Celsius water just over here on the main asteroid. So, alright, so we've gone ahead. We can now start our new rocket. We're going to pick a steam engine. And I want to make it out of steel. I want to make it out of steel. So please, let's get like 1,000 steel cooking up. Ton. A literal ton. Go ahead and get that cooked up. And I'm going to have to get them to build that as well. I'll be back. So I just remembered something as they're working on constructing this and making my steel. The game isn't perfect when it comes to clipping issues, clipping as in things going through walls and objects. That being, when you launch a steam rocket and the ground is like right here, occasionally the heat from the steam will jump through the wall. And so we may start heating up this area very frequently. And if we have a bunch of water here, this is going to turn to steam, and then we're going to start having steam out here, which is something we don't want, right? So I'm thinking what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue this. And we'll make it a water lock. Yeah. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we can bring this down one more and do that. There we go. And we'll fill this with crude oil as well, and then we're gonna get a water pump and pump all this liquid out over here. And I think that's gonna be best. So, back to smelting. Alrighty, so got ahead and got the pump working, dumping it over here. We'll go ahead and let them finish building up that. And we'll tell them to build the next layer, please. We're going to do a new rocket steam engine with steel. And I think we're going to go ahead and priority 6. Bam. Bam. They should be able to reach that. Hopefully. One thing I can do in the future is when I get all this water out of here, and I cork off the top here, right, so this becomes a vacuum, because the only thing that exists here is liquid, and once I remove all the liquid, there should be no gas. That's a lie. That is, unless if there's still polluted water left over, then that will off-gas into polluted oxygen in here. But either way, I can make this into a vacuum, and then I can bring my rocket platform just down, and then I won't have to worry about the issue, because all I'm going to do is just heating up rock, right? And this is all rock that can get really hot without fear of turning into magma or anything. My cat has decided to hop on the desk. Hello. Alrighty. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the steam engine started and built. And I'm just going to give them time to build all of this so we can progress. Alrighty, so got ahead, this thing's built, liquid's being pumped out, finished topping off the top. There is a bit of chlorine in here, so we will have to set up a gas pump to get all that out. On top of that, we have one more tile left for this. I'm deconstructing our ladders here so we can go ahead and build that steam turbine. Now, one thing we do need to build over here as well is a secondary cooling loop, right? So we have this cooling loop going, but this steam turbine down here is going to be running very frequently, if not all the time, right? We're just going to produce a lot of heat, and we need to be able to cool it. And you can't just put in a steel liquid tepidizer in here where the steam from here is going to go in, because this steam's going to be like 500 degrees Celsius. It's going to cause it to overheat, right? Because it can't regulate itself. So because of that, I'm basically just going to build this down here. So it's going to look something like this. Alrighty. So we've gone ahead, created our little cooling loop, just like so. Pretty simple. It's keeping the place nice and cool. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep up the excess stuff here. We got power running our thermo aqua tuner, and everything else is pretty much the same, just swapped in different directions, right? So with that, what we're gonna do now is add on to here. Now we really don't need anything too fancy in here, right? So I think we could throw on a all right, okay, yeah, let's do a battery module. No, I want to make it out of steel. That's the one thing we always had the least amount of. I just spent a lot of steel on iron. So here's the plan. This just has to be a simple rocket, right? Doesn't need to be anything crazy because its entire purpose is literally just to fly into orbit and then just come right back, right? Over and over and over and over again. So all it needs is the steam engine, a battery module, a solar panel module, and then just a normal little solo spacefarer nose cone. Right, that's it. How many tiles? Module version 1. I don't actually know how many tiles this engine goes, because if it can go farther, we may actually utilize it to go further than our little petroleum engine. But I highly doubt it, because if you go into research, the petroleum engine comes technically farther than the steam engine. I bet the steam engine doesn't actually go very far. That's okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and let them cook up some steel and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so while they're making some more steel, I had noticed some of the artifacts I've gone and collected from things. One of them not only gave me an artifact, but also gave me a vacillator, a vacillator recharge, right? We can go over here and take this to our vacillator and we can recharge that now. Which, inspect? No. Guess I never inspected that. Seems to go ahead and throw that in. It's basically just a glorified battery, if you really think about it. Okay, now Rin's gonna take care of it. Another thing is, we officially hit a million kilocalories, by the way, with just 2 ranches of stone hatches. And I guess also the 2 ranches of the Drecos, right? But this goes to show how powerful barbecue is, right? So we've already shook Neep's, or not Neep's, Stinky's brain, and I think Neep is a good next person to do. Our dedicated rocket man. Neep, why don't you get on in here? And what did he get? Plus 20 health per cycle. Not the best, but not the worst. Alrighty. We can go ahead. I think we should have enough steel now. Yep. Go ahead and build that. Oh, it looks so silly. It looks so silly. Go ahead and make some glass as well for our solar panel. I forgot to do that in a second. Or I forgot to do that earlier. That there as well. And then on top of this one, we're going to want to build, right, the solar panel module, and then our solo spacefarer module. And just throw on top. It's going to look really silly, because it's such a beefy bottom with a very small little top. But this thing isn't supposed to be fancy or anything like that. It's just supposed to get from, you know, space and back, or orbit and back. I'm going to go ahead and let them build that. And they should be finishing up the steel. They should go ahead and make us some glass. And we'll let them finish up the nose cone. View interior. Okay. So we don't need that much in here. We're going to go ahead and just throw an oxygen diffuser. Oxygen diffuser. There we go. And then we're going to do rocketry, power outlet, power wire. Just like so. Now, the oxygen, honestly, you can probably just keep this a vacuum, because the duplicant should only be in here long enough to fly to orbit and come back, fly to orbit and come back within their atmosuit. But it's there as a just in case. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and set this guy, or actually it's this one, yeah. So we're gonna change this so... Well, I actually can't see how far it can go until I actually fuel up the steam engine. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. Okay, so we can go ahead and change crew. We're gonna make this meat for now. And we're gonna say it's gonna have a round trip. And then I think that's what I need. Yeah. How's the interior? Put that there. And how's our glass being made? About 9 left. So, until then, let's start working on our roof here. We can go ahead and destroy that. So we're gonna need to get ourselves some mechanized airlocks. And I think we can get away with just gold on these because they're quite expensive. So you're gonna want to put, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's actually perfect. You just do bam, bam, bam. I actually don't know how many tiles this thing takes up, but I'm pretty sure it'd just be safe to just have doors throughout the entire thing. So the point of the doors is A, keep the steam in. B, when it becomes time for me to sleep, the door should close before then. Right, give the rocket enough time to fly up, fly back, fly up, fly back, and then close when it's around the time Meat needs to sleep, so you can get out of the rocket, go sleep, have breakfast, whatever, right? And then you can come back and fly and fly and fly over and over and over again, right? That's the idea, at least. But that can be a bit tricky. But we're going to be utilizing what's it called? Cycle sensor. Here it is. We can make this out of lead. Right there. Actually, out of steel, and we'll put it up here. That should hopefully protect it from the steam. Alright, so basically we're going to want to have that, and then we'll also have a button. Just a signal switch should do. Put that as well. And we're going to go and get ourselves an AND gate. It's an OR gate? AND means that they both need to be green for this to activate. OR gate means either or. Let's do an AND gate. Yeah, let's do an AND gate. We'll go ahead, automation wire. Plug that in, and we'll say, okay, activation time. So let's look at what schedule he's on. 1, 2, 4, 5. Meep is on this schedule, which means so the duration should be. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to wait till it gets to near his time, because I think I want him by the base at around this time. So then if I say turn it off here, okay, no, that makes sense. So I want him in by this time, turn it off at this point in the cycle. schedule. So we'll let it go ahead and get to the point where I want it to be. Moving forward. We're gonna have to set up another one of these downstairs on the rocket platform itself to let the rocket know when it can and cannot launch. And now, okay. So active duration should be about here. Then we tell it to stop until. Oh, interesting. I'm thinking like this. Oh, let's test it out. Let's see. I honestly, the time schedule, I wish that it didn't show it as an image of your clock up here, but instead your actual schedule in like a linear format. It'd make understanding this a lot easier. But I think activation time of 44%, active duration of 70% should be fine. Nope. Gonna be a bit larger. Yeah. Thinking that. Let's make the duration a little bit bigger. Okay, yeah. I think that should be fine, right there. So at this point in time, the doors are going to be open, allowing the rocket to fly in and out. And then if I need to manually shut it off, I can just do that. So. Okay. Alright, so with that, we're going to go ahead and go automation down here as well. And we're going to want to get our cycle sensor down here. I think we can deconstruct building this piece. And then we have, okay, so if we look at the automation of our launch, we have launch the rocket on green, cancel the or don't launch when it's not green, right? So we'll go ahead and get that. And the rocket, even if it'll be set to launch, if the doors are closed, it won't launch until the doors are open, right? Because it'll say that its path is blocked. But with that, we'll go ahead and set this thing. And this timer isn't going to be exactly the same as the one before. We're actually going to want it to be a little... we're going to want the rocket to stop launching sooner than the doors are open. I'm having a tough time talking today. So activation time can be the same, but we're going to do the active duration to be even less. We'll say 50%. Let's say that's about even with that little thing there. Yeah. That's even with that little thing there. That's even with that. So we'll say about half the day. And then this guy is even to there. And we'll give it this. So we'll give it from this point here to this point here for the rocket to make its last landing before the doors close. Because if the rocket's landing and these doors are closed, it'll just blast through the doors and break them. And that's annoying, because that's something we're going to have to fix. So, okay, so Now go automation, automation, wire. And we'll go up an automation bridge. And I won't have an AND gate for this one. I should have the AND gate for this one, if I really honestly think about it though. So, actually we will be doing that, because it's a smart thing to do. And we'll say, AND gate. Oh, it doesn't like that bridge there. Deconstruct that bridge. Automation. AND gate. Wire, plug that in, plug you in, no, plug you in, and then we'll put our bridge up here. There we go. And then do we have our solar panel module yet? Yep, go ahead and build that too. Alrighty, so that's set up now. Last thing while they're building that solar panel is we gotta get steam into this rocket. Now, how we choose to get steam into this rocket is what's gonna be interesting. I could utilize this cool steam vent, but could make things a little complicated. I could utilize a cool steam vent, and then pipe steam into the rocket. It only needs to launch once, and then it can power itself. But until then, I think if there's any other easier way to do this. I don't think there is. I think we are going to be utilizing this cool steam vent, which means I am going to have to quickly break the steam vent open and get the steam out of it. So, we'll get on that. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and just built a box around, I increased the box around our cool steam vent, put in the gas pump. One slight issue though is I analyzed it, it's going to go dormant by the end of this cycle, which is really annoying. The other downside is, well, first of all, we need to cut that off, because it's only going to output steam at 110 degrees Celsius, and steam cools down while in a vent, it'll turn to water and break your vent, right? Which is something we don't want, because then the steam won't make it to our rocket, right? So basically, you're going to want to finish your actual pipe first, and then plug in the steam, and just pray that that 10 degrees Celsius is enough to get your steam to your engine. It is usually most of the time, but sometimes you may lose a bit of steam as it phases into water, and may break a couple pipes, but should be good, at least in the end. We have a bit of steam here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to power the rocket. We'll have to see before this thing goes dormant. Worst comes to worst, I will go and make myself some lunch while I let the game run for a couple cycles to let it become active again. So, let's watch. Alrighty, this isn't going to be active for another like 31 cycles, so I gone ahead and dug up this cool steam vent down here, which is actually going to be active in about 15 cycles. All I did was just the same thing up here. I just set up a little gas pump and swept that area out, and I come in sweeping this area out. And while I'm waiting, in the meantime, we're trying to get all this cleaned up. But, well, they're being a little slow about it, but I will be back when this thing is producing steam. Alrighty, I totally didn't just go do a bunch of errands and get a bunch of stuff done while I was waiting for this cool steam to activate, but is now going off, which means we should be getting some hot steam. Yep, and now we just have to hope and pray that it doesn't turn into water before it gets there. So we're gonna keep an eye on this and hope it goes well. I just need a certain... I don't need a lot. Just enough to do 2 tiles worth. I don't even know if it has to be 2 tiles. Alrighty, we are starting to get steam. And we are also getting cold damage. As the steam is turning into water in the thing. But we have 10.6 kilograms. Is that enough? No, it's not. Okay, well, I am filling this room with steam, but that's okay because, well, that's what it's supposed to be full of, right? But looks like it's going to take a little bit of time for this to actually properly fill up. So I'm going to go ahead and wait around for this thing to fill up. Alrighty, we are now fueled. So we can go ahead and cut that off. Then we can go ahead and say, right, we're going to there. Clear launch pad. Oh, is it the, okay, so this isn't gonna open up until a second here. Alrighty, things are looking good. So, since I pressed this little round trip button, means it should be ready to go. Means meat should be on his way. I hope. Meep! Go fly the rocket. No. Oh, neat. Change crew? Do I even have meat as the selected crew? No. That is probably why. You actually have to have the crew decided for it to work. Meat should be coming in soon. Or not. Hello? Change crew. Meat. What is happening? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. What is wrong? Status. I don't know why Meep isn't wanting to go into the rocket ship. That's really weird. Is it because he's also crew on this one? We'll unselect him up there. Does that fix it down here? Say, just one time. Alright, well, I'm gonna figure this out and I'll be back. So I'm dumb. I realize it's because Meep had no access to the thing. I needed to build a ladder right here so we can actually go ahead and allow Meep in there. Errands? Status? There he goes. Alright. So as you can see, we should be creating a lot of steam down here. Yep, and it's going to be really hot steam. It'll be about 169 degrees Celsius. It should go all the way up. And this thing should be set to round trip. Meaning he should be coming back. Actually, it's just from this road trip. Let's have him come back. Then he should come back in and land. Alright, our steam turbine's working now. Perfect. And so we can now change this to just orbit. And make it round trip. And we should be loading back up. Should hopefully get enough fuel. There you go. And that's pretty much it. You're gonna have a lot of water dripping in, especially from up here in the top where it's gonna be wanting to cool down. The more you use it, the hotter it's gonna be and the less drippage you're gonna find. But when it gets down here, any collected water will either turn back into steam, or when the rocket launches, it'll turn back into steam as well. And you can also go ahead, and what I may do is you can box this off as its own little room, and you can go put yourself a power control station, and you can overclock this steam turbine if you want. But now, not only do you have some free power, but you also got free water, right? So it is coming out at 94 degrees Celsius, so just be aware of that as it's going to be getting wherever you're depositing the water really hot. And as you can see down here, our polluted oxygen is starting to also get really hot down here. And that's because of that bug I had mentioned before. So, alright, so with that, we've gotten our infinite water and steam chimney set up. So, next episode, we're going to probably go ahead and start focusing more on, I'm thinking some nuclear research and stuff like that. There is a couple of achievements I want to start working on, and one of those being I want to mutate a lot of plants. So we're probably going to start looking into nuclear reactors. So I hope you all have a nice day, and I hope to see you all in a future video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really much appreciate it if you do, but I just appreciate y'all watching the videos. So have a nice day, and I hope to see you all in a future video. Bye-bye.